So today we're going to talk about ACL bearings and how our relationship developed, and we've been using ACL in these big engines for over 10 years and we've had great success with them. But we came up with this main bearing about a year ago. I asked them if they'd make it. We used to do it ourselves, put the holes in it ourselves and retrofit what they would send us. And the salesman came in and I said, why don't you just make the bearing this way? You can use it either way, but I want to explain the reason behind it. So what you have here is a race crank that's light and through the center. So you can no longer cross drill the crank, meaning the rod bearing only gets one shot at oil when it rotates. So on a motor this size, you need more oil to it. So what we came up with is a way to pressurize behind the bearing, and it all comes down to oil timing, where peak pressure is at the cycle when it's pumping the oil, and nobody really, it's a mystery. I mean, it's just something, there's a lot of articles on oil timing, but we kind of got into it on these big engines and worked it out. So what we did was, in the old days, we would take a block and just grind this groove in the block, because you want to pressurize behind the bearing. Everybody thinks, well, we can go to a full groove bearing. That only pass more oil out the main bearing. So what this bearing does, once the slot is here, here's your main pressure from the main oil galley. So when you snap the bearing in now you've created a pressure behind the bearing. So as the crank rotates, you've got 3 shots at the rod bearing under pressure. So 3 times the amount of oil, which made the rod bearings go from night to day in a motor that makes that kind of cylinder pressure. But the good side about this bearing, and now they're selling way more of these bearings since they kind of found out about it, but it'll work if you don't want to use it for what we're doing for extra oil to the rod bearing. You just don't put the groove in the block or just run the bearing and the holes don't go anywhere. It just traps oil. So it's a universal piece. But they got the fit perfect. They got our chamfer, the width, which nobody can get. Our competitors in the bearing, other than ACL, just don't get it right. They listened to us, made the right width, made the right chamfer, because the big stroke cranks, even a 632, anything in racing, the crank is moving around. You need a lot of chamfer because the fillet radiuses are bigger, the crank becomes stronger. That's what holds the cranks together is the fillet radius. So this is a main bearing we came up with. Now you can buy it from ACL. Here's the part number for it. They're gonna eventually be available coated right from ACL, but it's just a great product. You know, we use our main bearings in a 959 that's run really hard. There is plenty of them out there of over 100 runs on the bearings. You could reuse the bearings. And then the rod bearing, we run ours a little different than our competitors. We run a full width bearing, and what we did from day one when I designed the big stroke stuff, a typical big block crank is 2 inches wide from here to here. We made the crank 208, 40 a side, so we can take advantage of the big fillet radius and a full width bearing for load. And that's been a major improvement on these engines. But we're known for reliability, and that's why we picked ACL, because we get consistency from them. Everything fits, everything is the right clearance. There's just no better bearing out there for us, and we're working together on a lot of projects. There'll be a lot of bearings coming from a street engine to a race engine that we're going to change some things on and come out with to hopefully help everybody out there.